Hey everyone, it's Vismaya again from Living in Gratitude. Today it looked like we had, I'm sorry that my hand is in the camera, a little bit of a technical difficulty, so I'm going to put us back on right there. And Pat will be jumping on right now as I am going to go ahead and make sure that she is able to join us. Let's see, one more second, pardon my finger. All right, let's see. So she will jump on right now, and I'm going to reshare this one again. Let's see. So we're going to reshare this one because the last video I actually deleted. All right. So Pat will be joining us in 1 second. As I told you, she is a very interesting woman. You're going to love hearing what she has to share with you today. And, you know, I was saying earlier, I said, you know, I hope today is a really magical Monday for you. I was just on the phone with somebody and I said to him, how's your day going? And he says, oh, it's, you know, Monday. You know how Mondays are. And I thought to myself, I said, why do we have this conversation that Mondays are supposed to be? I was listening to Gary Vee actually, and he was saying, you know, Mondays, if you're waking up and going, oh, it's Monday, how horrible, how sad, not good. Really, Mondays are supposed to be exciting and because you love what you do. So if that's not what's happening, let's shift the way we're thinking. Let's create Mondays to be, you know, magical Mondays and terrific Tuesdays and, you know, as my WPN sisters say, wow Wednesdays, and really have a week that we love and we enjoy. So I'm just waiting right now for Pat to jump on. And my voice is going in and out, so I apologize. I just put a cough track back in. I was trying not to because it doesn't look so pretty on camera, but maybe it will soothe the cough. You got to do what you got to do. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about Patricia Rogers, and then she'll jump on. So I may look like I'm reading because I am. Patricia Rogers is a retired correctional lieutenant, best-selling author, international public speaker, business coach, and entrepreneurial event coordinator. Pat is a CEO of Unity and Service, and prior to retirement, she decided to take her gifts, talents, and hobbies and turn them into a business so she can educate individuals on how to transition smoothly from the corporate arena to a successful entrepreneur. Unity and Service has created the entrepreneur breakthrough systems for clients, inspiring them to first change their mindset, invest in themselves, persevere no matter what, and keep their vision in view. The Entrepreneur Breakthrough System consists of 9 programs. Hey, Nancy. The Entrepreneur Breakthrough System consists of 9 programs that will build a foundation that lasts in today's economy. Pat's Zone of Genius is inspiring individuals to discover their unique gifts, talents, hobbies, and transforming them into a business. Having transitioned herself, Pat guides startup entrepreneurs on how to build a sustainable business, how to overcome objections, and how to avoid some of the risks that goes into being an entrepreneur. If you don't know Pat, you will love her. So, I'm waiting 1 more second, and hopefully she'll jump on, and she will join us. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to see if this video is showing. I see Nancy's on. Nancy, are you back in town? Or are you watching us from... Hey, Pat, I see you. So go ahead and jump on. I'm going to add you right now. Okay. Hi, Hope. I see you there. Patricia Rogers, we are waiting for you to connect. And I don't know if you heard, but I did share your bio with everybody, so they already have a sense of who Pat Rogers is.
Okay.
There you are.
Yeah, I was waiting on you to invite me in, honey. I saw you. And the link that you gave me that I
All
gave
right,
out
I
to
got
all right,
you.
I gotcha. Not good, but that's okay. You know, we tried.
Let's discuss that after.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching you set up. I said, "Oh, she got to bring me in." Okay, great. We did it. We did it. We did it.
Yes. So
Yes.
welcome,
So welcome. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, Michelle. How are you?
Vismaya, my
It's
friend.
Maya, my friend. It's Maya. I did it again. Oh my God. I always do it. I didn't rehearse.
I know, and I
I
know
know,
you
and I
know.
know you
You've
know.
only
You've
known me as
only known me as
Vismaya.
Vismaya. I know. Oh
I'm
my
gonna plug
God.
in
I'm
my
gonna plug
my
in my,
headset
my
because I'm
headset
getting
because I'm
feedback.
getting feedback. Oh really?
Are
Are you
plug in your
plug
headset
in
because
your
I'm getting
headset because I'm
feedback.
getting feedback? I never use it. You still getting it?
I'm getting a lot
I'm
of
getting a
feedback.
lot of feedback. Wow. Okay, I have to get my headset then.
All right, so
All right,
Pat is
so
gonna get her
Pat is gonna
headset
get
to
our
see
headset to
if
see
that
if that
eliminates the
eliminates the
feedback.
feedback. Yeah, because I don't normally use headset.
So
So
if you're hearing
if you're
feedback, let
hearing
me know,
feedback, let me
please.
know, please. Okay, so it's the first for everything, right?
I hear.
I hear.
Let's see.
Let's see.
That red looks
That
good on
red
you.
looks good on you. Ah, I knew you liked that red, please.
And I put my
And
red
I put my
lipstick
red
on just for
lipstick on
you.
just for you. Ah, living with attitude. That's what it's about.
Let me hear you.
Let me hear you. Can you hear me now?
I hear you. I'm
I
still
hear you.
getting
I'm still getting
feedback.
feedback. I don't know why.
I don't know
I
either
don't
because we
know
didn't
either
have
because we
it
didn't have it
earlier.
earlier.
Yeah, Nancy just
Yeah,
said lots
Nancy
of
just said lots
feedback.
of feedback. You still getting feedback?
Hello, hello. No, no, no
Hello?
feedback now.
Now I don't hear you. Hello?
I hear you.
I don't hear you at all. I don't know. Wait, hold up. Okay, can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Okay, I hear you.
Perfect. The
Okay.
connection is perfect.
Oh,
What happened?
I,
What did you have to change?
actually, I just put the headset on. I guess that stopped the feedback because now we're talking into the phone, I guess. I've never used headsets. I've always done them without it, but
All
I'm
right.
okay
The
with it.
connection now is like perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I don't know if you heard, but I did read your biography already. I let people know a little bit
No, I
about who
didn't
you
know.
are. And
Okay.
so can you
I
share
didn't.
really quickly, how did you jump from correction officer to this entrepreneurial who puts on these great events and coaches people?
Wow, I'm glad you asked that question. That's a good question. Uh, well, actually, I worked for corporate America, yeah, 29 years, and knowing I had to retire was really, it was coming near, and I knew I had to do something because after 29 years and moving up the ranks to various supervisory levels and retiring as a correctional lieutenant, of
Mm-hmm.
course, by now I know I'm a leader. By now, like Nancy and them say in training, by now, So, of course, I knew that I would not be coming back to work. Of course, I have to say, too, that I prepared. Preparation is the key. To anything that we want to do in life, a preparation, we must prepare. So that means while we're working, we have to save up our money. We have to, plan, with the end in mind, as they say. Because if we don't properly financially plan, then of course we will be going back to work. And that's what a lot of times people do when we fail to plan. So that was major for me. And a couple of years prior to retiring, I started marketing, maybe 2 or 3 years prior to retiring, I started marketing legal services, legal and identity theft services. And that's for a multi-level marketing company. And that's all I thought I would be doing because I knew it would get me. I would be able to provide services to families, business owners, and so on and so forth, legal protection, affordable legal protection. And I also knew that would develop a new family for me. So I know with multi-level marketers, we have big conferences, we travel, and so I knew that that would give me everything I desired. You know,
Absolutely.
in my retirement, I wouldn't be sitting home watching TV, being a what they call a
Couch
couch
potato.
potato.
Are you still doing the multi-level marketing? Are you still
Yes, I
okay?
still market. Yes, I do. Definitely. I'll do that. I'm going to do that forever. And I must say kudos to Legal Shield because Legal Shield is who has set this platform for me. I
Okay.
basically started hosting events in my backyard because I wanted to get in front of more people to tell them that I did Legal Shield. So
And
I would set,
now,
yeah, I would set up the tents, I would set up the tables, I would get the DJ, we would feed the people all at my expense. And I would call all the entrepreneurs to come, who were entrepreneurs, to come on, let's y'all do a 60-second infomercial. And I'm going to do my 65-second infomercial. Everybody get to know what everybody does. And it turned out really, really nice. I would have 50 to 60, 70 people in my backyard because I
wow.
would do that quite often. And it was really nice. I had a little tiki hut in my backyard, and we used that for the stage. I had microphones. I mean, I went all in, you know, and I just like to take things to the max. And we had a good time. And then from there, I went into my first hotel. I think I paid about $200 for that hotel to use it for a few hours. And that was nice. And people were still coming for free. All of this was for free. Then I went into my second hotel, another hotel. And that was, I think that one was about $800
And you
for a
were
few
still promoting
hours.
Legal Shield when you were doing all
Yes,
this?
that's all I was doing. That's all I wasn't even a public speaker. I hadn't done any of that. I was just doing Legal Shield. All I wanted to do was get in front of other people. And of course, I was one of the top marketers on my team. And of course, when I retired, of course, Legal Shield, the BMW I'm driving now was provided at that time by Legal Shield. You know, and that was my gift to me for working so diligently and so hard, you know. So then what that did, it took me into public speaking. I met you guys in Women's Prosperity Network because I networked. And I joined the organization and I took business of speaking and I started learning that I had other gifts inside of me as well. So what Nancy always told me was Legal Shield is already branded. So what does Pat Rogers have to give to society? And that stuck with me, and that made me research myself and look over my past. And I had to discover my gifts, my talents, and my hobbies, which is really something that I was doing all my life. I've always brought people together. You know, even in church, I would have we would have choirs to come in and raise money for the churches, and we would have what we call choir fellowships and things of that nature, singing, a lot of singing and stuff. So, and then on the job, they would always say, Lieutenant Rogers, the captains, oh, we need people to take up money for diabetes. We need people
You were on it.
we need you to take up, we need you to bring everybody together for a cookout. So I was always doing that, but I didn't realize that I could monetize it. I never knew it was a gift
And you're also the
until,
selfie queen as well.
I love taking selfies and videos.
Yes, you do, and you do a great job. You know, that's the one
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
that always stood out whenever I see you or when anybody sees you is that you're never afraid to put yourself right in the middle. You're never afraid to gather people to say, "Come on," and
Yeah.
make them feel like they're
Yeah.
part of the
I don't know
group.
why
And
I'm like that, but yeah, I do.
yeah, you always make people feel like they're part of the group. You want them involved. You want them connected. You know, and it's funny, but it always seems to come around. You know, the selfie stick and
Yes, it
so
does.
you're like the group. I just lost the word I'm looking for. The historian. You know,
Yeah.
because you always have the pictures, and really
I'm
that's
the
what.
class clown. I'm
No,
the
I
class
wouldn't have said
clown.
class clown. It was
Yeah.
class
I like to make
historian.
people happy. Yeah, yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so you've gone from being a lieutenant in corrections to being now this lead person in Legal Shield, and now I know you're doing something completely different, which is unity and service, and that's where you're taking
Right.
your gifts that you've had all along, but now you've learned
Right.
to monetize them, so to speak, and create your own kind of events. So share a little bit about that, and then I know you were going to share some tips with people as to how they can create events and give some of your advice or your opinions on that.
Yes. Well, like I said, when I started taking, when I joined the organization, Women's Prosperity Network, immediately I heard them talk about Trish Card. The first time I joined, Allison invited me in, and I went. The first day I became a lifetime member. It was just automatic, and And what that did for me, I heard Trish say something about the business of speaking, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew that was it. And I have to give kudos to Bill Walsh because I had already gone to some of his free events, and he talked about public speaking. And he asked me one time, asked everybody, what is it, if you was a public speaker today, what would you talk about? I had no clue, you know. And so just to see what time does for us when we get around the right people who have what we want, and even when we don't know that they have what we want, just being in the right place at the right time. And I have been a lifetime outstanding member with the Women's Prosperity Network for a few years now, and I'm very grateful that I made that move.
Me
You
too.
know, along with International Power Team, and what I do, because Bill Walsh is my mentor, Nass is my mentor, Trish, all of the leaders there, Susan, all of my leaders. I've even from there, from Women's Prosperity, I connected with Sharon Lecter, and she's also a mentor of mine, and I've also been mentored with her and out in Arizona. You know, when she had the dedicated entrepreneur. So I just jumped in with both feet when I retired. And even prior to retiring, I was joining your organizations and things. And what that has done for me is it helped me understand better who I am, what I had to offer. And public speaking is definitely a must. I love it. And bringing people together is a must. But what they taught me was that it was a business. It's a business. And instead of me spending all my money doing it all for free, and I'm going
Right.
to say, when you talk about tips, a lot of times people think I had that mentality, and that's one thing when we're leaving corporate America, we have to change our mindset because everything in corporate America is free. Everything that we need to do is told to us what to do, how to do it, where to do. All we have to do is read the book or either do what we're told to do by those who are over us. So that means 29 years, I didn't even have to worry. I didn't even have to give it a second thought as to who am I.
Right.
So it wasn't until I retired I had to realize, well, who am I? You know, what, bless you, sweetie. Who am I? You know, what do I have to give? You know, so basically
I had that
I learned,
exact conversation today,
yeah.
because being an entrepreneur, there's so much that you have to do. And I see somebody's on. Hi, is that Felton? Hi, my friend. So I see that there, I had that same conversation today. Is like, as an entrepreneur, you have to figure out what you're
Mm-hmm.
going to do, when you're going to do it, because like you said, nobody tells you. When I was teaching for 20 years, I knew what my schedule was, what I was supposed to teach.
Yeah.
I knew the end goal was to get kids to pass the test, which was, whatever. And making that transition, I don't think that people realize, well, they may realize that it's definitely a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one that's worth taking if, like you said before, you're prepared. But really, like, I love that point you just made, is that, the minute you become an entrepreneur, you do not have somebody telling you what to do,
Mm-mm.
when to do, and how to do it. So it's really imperative that you belong to
Yes,
organizations and jump
it
in
is. Mm-hmm.
and make those connections and belong to those networks so that you're getting the mentorship that you really need, because sometimes it's not easy. There's little things that I didn't know
Mm-mm.
to do and that I have
Mm-hmm.
learned on the way.
Yes,
So I'm glad
and
you
you're
said
doing a
that.
good job too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you've
you.
come a long way as well. You
Yeah.
know, we have seen each other grow,
Yes,
you know,
ma'am.
in our areas of expertise, and that's always inspirational. But again, like I said, if I'm not around you all, you know, if you don't invite, we don't collaborate. I don't get to see your products, your services, and you invite me into what you're doing, and so on and so forth. And those things is what inspires each of us. And I'm gonna say this when you talk about a tip. One thing what people do in this arena, in any arena, what we cannot allow ourselves to do is be envious and jealous of others. What we have to do, understand, is to take your gift, whatever it is that you have inside of you, your job is to discover that. And your job then is to foster that, you know, and you have to nurture that. And you have to, so that you will grow and discover your path. But sometimes people get on this journey and they, in life in general, we didn't just start with entrepreneurs, and we lose focus of who we are because we're so focused on what somebody else is doing. And not
Yes.
realizing those people had to jump through hoops. They still jumping through hoops. They've cried many nights. You okay? They've
Yeah.
cried many nights. You know what I'm saying? They said there were days they didn't know which direction they was going, but because they reached a certain plateau, this is what the people see. And then instead of us collaborating, me saying, "Hey, Vismaya, You know, I like to work with you. I want to stand back and say, oh, her shirts are so pretty. I don't know what she thinks, you know. And it's just, that's not, instead, I need to collaborate with you because I need to draw off of you so that it
You're
will help,
so in my
you
brain today because I'm telling you, like, you're absolutely, you're so in, you're thinking exactly what I have been
know.
thinking the last few days because I met a bunch of actors last year, as you know, in LA, and they have, they all have my shirts. And initially, when you look at
I have your
everybody's, like,
shirt.
I know, let me see. What? So initially, when you meet them, they're, everything is going well for them and their life is
Yeah,
great. But then when you start talking to people and you hear their stories and you
right.
hear how gratitude impacted them. And one of the actors
Mm-hmm.
was telling me for a year he had no jobs. He was eating ramen noodles basically.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote in his gratitude journal every single day all the things he was grateful for, and he had to hit the pavement and grind. And that's such a powerful point that you said, because
That's right.
sometimes people, we can look at other people
Mm-hmm.
and say, wow, it's so easy for them. But we don't know the
Yeah, it's not.
backstory.
Right.
We don't
And
know the
it's always
backstory. And that's
backstory.
why it's so powerful to belong to networks and to ask questions and to collaborate and to pay attention and work with each other, not against
Absolutely.
each other. So that was brilliant.
Absolutely. And that is something I believe in doing. And I guess corporate America has taught me too that one thing about it in every arena, there are rules to the game. And we have to play by the rules. That means that if I'm in Women's Prosperity Network, there are rules to the game. And my life is so fulfilling and so, so easy if I just follow the rules. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, because we are entrepreneurs, we want to do it our way, or I think your way is not the best way. So I want to just sort of take over things. I can't take over everything. I got to go in and play by the rules. And then what I have to do is what I'm doing now, create my own platform.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can't go, so this is what people have to understand. Everything, like they say, I've heard it said so many times, all of us were created equally. And it's up to us, but it's up to us as to what we do with the time that we've been given.
So I know you have an event coming up in May. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Of course, of course. Yes, we have an entrepreneur. Yes, we have an event coming up in May. This will be my fourth big event outside of actually the one that I considered once I started the business and started Unity and Service, where people need people. Of course, I am the CEO, and I had that name for years because my initial plan was to go into real estate years ago, but I didn't do it. So I wanted to use that name because it had meaning to me. Unity in service. There's always unity in people, in serving people. And so I used that name once I started public speaking and started hosting my own events. And then, of course, I learned too that I'm a social media guru. I love social media. So I also market social media for individuals who do not like to market their events online. And also we do a little coaching, and we'll be starting up our training sessions in July. I'm going to be doing training once a month. We're going to use other entrepreneurs. I always believe in edifying other people. Setting that platform is all I do. I just love setting that platform for all of us to share the services that we offer that will empower and enhance the lives of other people. And this is what the platforms are about, the events that I host. Nancy, Bill, and Chris Salem, and I always have those keynotes on the stage. Those are my mentors, and those are people who give back to me, because I believe that had so many years, have had so many years of experience out there that we definitely need them. And I call them keynote speakers. And some people, I'll call them my millionaires too. But at any rate, because they have arrived, they've reached the pinnacle of success,
Yes.
And I'm still striving. A lot of us are striving. We're following their footsteps. And they always come back and they speak for me, and that's a bonus. Also, we have a plethora of other speakers, some who this would be their first time speaking on the stage, because I was called, my vision, to set the platform. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not, anybody that want to speak and they want to make that small investment in themselves, they're welcome to speak on the stage for whatever the reason. Some are just starting out. Some are just enjoy speaking. Some want to just get their information out there or sell their products from the stage. Whatever the case may be, my job is to set the platform and market the event so that we can fill the seats. And that's the hard part.
And how many people are we expecting at this event?
At this event, we're expecting Entrepreneurs Living the Dream 2019. We'll be at the DoubleTree Hotel. We're expecting 200 people. That's what we secured the spot for. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a sellout. We're already over the 100 mark, and we're just continuing to work. And another tip that I like to say is when we set out to do things in life, we're going to have so many distractions and so many disappointments along the way. You know, I'm going to have to say this. Sometimes when you're hosting an event, any event, with a ton of people, I have over 70 people, I believe, actually in this event, and this is the first for you. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the first for me, and to have that many at one event. So that means, number one, that we're growing. That means that, number two, as people say, when you're gifted and you're gifted in what you do, and people need what you want or they desire to have what you want, they will find you. And I'm already working on the 2020 list of speakers, you
I'm
know,
on
because
there.
it's absolutely. And it's something that people want to do. And so my job is to set the platform, and we're looking for 200. Normally we have about 100, 112 was the most at our 217 event. We went to Atlanta last year. We were close to 100. And so that was the first time out of the state of Florida in
That
Atlanta.
was
We had almost
incredible that
80
you
something
just
people.
picked
Yeah,
up
and I
and
had no
just,
clue.
that was
Yeah, I didn't.
amazing.
So
That was a leap of faith. And I think that's another thing, you know, when you've got to jump when you're an entrepreneur. You've got to jump, plan, prepare, and then jump.
and jump. And no matter how it looks, it doesn't matter how it looks. Our goals do not care how I feel, and my goals don't care how it looks. My goals just want me to go, keep it moving, and that's my one tip too, because no matter how things look, how many disappointments you have along the way, how some people are going to disappoint you, but you know what? Things are not going to fall in place properly the way you wanted it to. But you know what? It's always number one, a way around the rock. Number two, I always say God always have a ram in the bush. It's always a ram in the bush. You just got to keep moving. But when we stop, that's when we would never, ever, ever reach our plateau. And I can certainly say that when we channel through each challenge, when we challenge Vismaya, when we go through each challenge, the blessing, the reward is on the other side of that thing that thing that wants to stop me.
Yep.
And when we realize that, and sometimes I have to pull on my sisters in the organization. Sometimes I have to pull on my people that's close to me. I have to get it out of my system. I have to hear another point of view, because those things is what pushes me through those challenges, you know, and then we keep moving and we reach the goal, you know. So we're looking for, our event is going to be at the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel in Sunrise, Florida. That's across the street from Sawgrass Mills. And you are one of our sponsored partners.
I am.
And I thank you for that. And I can remember every time I do an event, I start off with one vendor on my flyer when I start off promoting. And I know my goal was 20. I always we have to ask for what we want. You know, I asked God for what I want. I wanted 20 vendors, and I work to get those 20 vendors. We can't ask for something when we are trying to achieve a goal and we expect it to drop out of the sky. We got to do the work. We got to do the work. And as I look at those flyers, then I'll get 5, and then I get 7, and then I'll get 10. And here I am. I got 21 vendors
Wow.
on the
Don't
flyers.
take any more.
I'm not taking any more. Yeah,
We need them
I'm
all
done.
to come and shop. You know, and again, I'm going to say we're on the same page today, because I went to the park to do my morning routine, and I'm journaling this morning. And all of a sudden, there's this big iguana who comes by me, and he crawls up the tree, and I'm fascinated with him. Don't ask me why. I don't want them too close to me, but
I know I don't like them.
he's climbing up the tree, and then all of a sudden, I look over again, and he's must have crawled back down, and I didn't see him, but he's kind of sticking out of the hole. And it was fascinating, because as I'm watching him, I'm looking at him, and he's kind of like camouflaging with the tree. And the thought that came to me was, sometimes we get to camouflage if we want to, but if you really want to get stuff done, you can't camouflage. You got to be out there. And it was really, and taking inspired action and doing those things that call us. And it was funny, because today I said, I always go the same way in the park. I always go to the right and walk around the path. Well, today I said, we're going to go to the left. And the minute I made the left-hand turn, I saw Beth Stoller. Do you know Beth?
Yes, I know
So
Beth.
bumped right into her, and we had the most fabulous conversation.
Wow.
And we ended up, so it was about taking chances or doing things different or listening to those voices that call us to do what we want to do. And that's kind of what you're talking about. You
Yeah.
know, you have those voices, and it's not going to happen if you don't take action. It's
You
not going to
have to
happen
take
if you don't
action.
listen.
You're absolutely right, and that's where we are. So people are calling and signing up, and we're looking forward to having, like I said, Nancy. She talks to Nancy Matthews, Women's Prosperity Network. She's going to be sharing about how we show up as the one, because there again, like I said, there are rules to the game, and if we want to be successful, we can. We all have a bad side to us. I mean, no doubt about it. We all have bad days. But the reality of it is this: it's when we're dealing with people we are going to have to service. We have to know how to show up.
Yes.
And we have to know how to manage, you know what I'm saying, our personalities, our attitudes, and that's what Nancy will be sharing some of those things about how we show up as entrepreneurs so that we can be effective. And also Bill Walsh, he's a small business expert. And of course, he always comes with a plethora of information. Bring your notes and pads. Always, he throws out so many websites and little web areas, tools that will help you succeed in your that will help us succeed in our endeavors. And then there's Chris Salem. He talks about how to build a sustainable business in this day, in this time, in this economy, because everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and a lot of times people quit their jobs because you quit your job, and they quit their job and they figure they can do what you did, but you know what? You got to know how to sustain once you make that decision.
Yeah. And sometimes it's about doing things you don't necessarily want to do, but you have to do to
Absolutely.
get in the grind. So.
Absolutely. And you know very well about that. So basically, I'm excited about the event. I also have a vocalist. I normally have a vocalist that comes in because that's a little bit of entertainment. It's always enjoyable. Her name is Butter, and she is an international vocalist.
Oh, wow.
And she will be coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. And she's going to be rendering a song for us. And I have my son, James Lewis. James Lewis is an author. He is spoken words. He does.
Nice.
He's an author. He writes poems, and he'll be doing a little something, introducing me or whatever. But he'll put his little spin on things too. I'm excited about that. They say the fruit don't fall far from the tree. I have a daughter, but she's sort of on the quiet side. She'll be there too, serving at the front desk, registration. And I'm just excited. Lunch is going to be about an hour and a half. I try my best to keep lunch an hour and a half. I haven't done the program yet, and I am full of speakers, but we're going to work it out. And I like to have that time so that, the sponsor partners, people like you said, can visit the booth and visit and spend some money and come and interact, so that's important too, that time that we spend for lunch so that it is productive. We will be having raffles. We always have a raffle. This year we're going to have a raffle. It's going to be 75-25. That means the winner of the raffle will get 25% of the pot, and 75% of the pot will be going to a gentleman named Eddie Rodriguez. I don't know if you know Edward. He has cancer. He's a survivor. And it's been in my heart to honor him at one of my events. And I'm going to do it this year. Why do I say that? This year? Because guess what? If we put off certain things and we procrastinate on all of our goals and the things that we desire to do, guess what, everybody? Tomorrow's not a promise. We may not get a chance.
He's actually going to be my guest on Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
Oh,
he's chapter 16 in the journal. You just made my heart very happy to hear that.
We are in the same all day. You said we right here. We're right here. And that is so
Does he
awesome.
Know this?
No. Well, actually, I talked to Eddie a long time ago, and I have not updated him lately. So he knows that it's in my heart to do that. I just got to wait till the event. But I did mention it some time ago, but that particular event I was going to have at that time, which was October of last year, we didn't have enough time to plan the event, so I didn't even announce it. I just said I'll just do it, because I wanted it to really be a good event. So that was just going to be a one day, but we didn't do it because we decided to just do it right, which was now. Once
That's
our
awesome.
annual
That's
event.
really, really
Yes,
cool.
yes. And I just put him on the flyers yesterday. My graphic designers just put him on the
Oh,
flyers
he's gonna be
yesterday.
there?
Well, I don't know if he's going to be there, but I'm hoping he'll be there. I told Eddie whenever. I've talked to him about this before. And if he's not there, it's okay. But I'm hoping he'll be there and, to share a little bit about his journey.
Yeah.
So
That is
yeah,
very,
yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah, yeah.
cool. He's
And so that's what we do. It's like I say, when we edify others, I always believe when I serve others or we serve others, God serves us.
amen to that.
And every time I turn around, I'm supposed to be writing my book right now. And I had this interview. And one of my friends said, you got to stop saying yes to everything. But it's difficult not to say yes because this is what I do. I'm happy. This is what makes me happy. Service, service, service. And I'll still get to, like I always believe that if God gives us the vision, he's going to give us the provision, to make things happen in our lives. And I'm sure you can attest to that.
Absolutely. And when we end the interview, what I'll do is I'll put the link onto all of your websites. And on that 360, can they get to the event page? They can get to the event page that way too.
Yes, they can get to the event
Okay.
page from using go to patrogers360.com, patrogers360.com, and that will take them straight to it's a little icon there, takes them to all of my social media platforms, and they'll see the icon that says events. They can also go to Miss Pat Rogers, Miss Pat Rogers eventbrite.com. So both those sites take them straight to Eventbrite to secure their seats. The tickets are only $147. Lunch is included in the ticket cost, and that's huge. So we keep our events affordable.
So you don't even have
Because
to leave the property
you don't have
while
to
the
leave the
event is going
property,
on.
and we do want people to spend money with our vendors, and we do want people to contribute to the raffles. So I do keep my costs low, and I have people tell me from time to time, your cost is too low. But you know what? We have to follow the vision that God gives us and not what man says.
I hear
Because it's a
you.
purpose. It's a purpose in everything that we do. And unity in service is not about getting rich overnight. Unity in service is about serving others and allowing others, to be edified and giving them that opportunity. I have some sponsor partners who've never vended before. I have a couple of speakers who've never spoke on stage before. That makes my heart happy because I am actually serving in a capacity
Right.
that's going to help someone grow.
And you're giving them
And
that chance. And
and
it's
I'm giving
always,
them that chance.
and the
Yeah.
people who show up, because I snuck in last year for a little bit, but the people who show up are always, like the audience members are always people who are open, who are kind, and who will make anybody feel welcome. So that's really kind of a great place to have their first
Yeah.
experience speaking because the people who will show up are going to be delightful.
Absolutely. We have people coming from Chicago. We have people coming from Virginia. We have speakers coming, people that's participating in the event coming from Pennsylvania.
Wow.
We have a gentleman coming from the Orange Tie speaker, Steve Buckles. I don't know if you know him, Steve Buckles. He's coming from London. He's coming from London. He was at
Wow.
our event last year in Atlanta. He met us in last year. We have Texas. Mr. Johnny Morning's coming from Texas. We have the Serranos. They're coming from Pennsylvania. We have John Schamberger. He's coming from Philadelphia. Oh my God. We have people coming from Connecticut. Tina Kadish. You know Tina Kadish.
I do.
She's coming from, I don't know, maybe you don't. But anyway, she's pretty visible on Facebook too. She gets around. And then we have, of course, Chris Salem, the keynote. He's coming from New York. We have Guy Rainey coming from New York. These are some of our expert panelists as well. And the list goes on. People coming from Northern Florida to the event. We have quite a few coming from Atlanta. We have, one of the chapters, which is Lawana
She's coming?
Bradford. She's not coming, but let me tell you, Lawana brought a table to represent the WPN Atlanta chapter, and she will be sending, actually, one of her chapter affiliates, Miss Jacqueline Brown, known as Lulu, she will be actually coming.
Okay.
And she is one of our special guests. And we have Renee Lundy. She's coming. She's a radio host. We have Kimberly Frazier. She's a radio host from Virginia. I mean, God is really doing his thing this year. He's
It's
doing
going to be
Eric. Oh my
lit
God,
up.
how can I forget Eric Holmes? Oh my God, Eric Holmes he's from Maryland, and he is definitely on fire. We have Lindy. I know you know Lindy.
Oh, yes,
Lindy,
yes.
Lindy will want to be
Eldridge.
one of our speakers, and of course she's here, but she's family, and it's just really amazing. Madeline will be speaking; she's one of our speakers. We have a Barbara Hoard. Barbara Hoard, you always a lot of people you're going to get to know for the first time,
All
and
right.
then we have absolutely, and we have Mr. Debbie Wikosaki. She's speaking.
All right. And
Debbie
the
is
whole the
speaking.
whole lineup
Yeah,
is on the flyer. So
yeah,
if people want to see who's on the
yeah,
lineup, they're
yeah,
able to
yeah.
jump on and
Yeah,
check it
that's it
out.
all over the place. But yeah, because the list goes on and on. Doris is in the organization. She's my host. She's my
Okay.
consultant for the event. And it is what it is, but we're just having a ball, and it looks like we're getting bigger and better. People are asking me to come to other states, and that's why I went to Atlanta last year just to see how it was. But I do believe, Vismaya, that God has greater things in store for me, for us, all of us that want to participate in this vision. And I am that person that's I'm just, I say, I don't like to say I'm stupid. I'm not stupid, but I'm stupid enough to step out on faith. And I say that, because I just believe that whatever we want in life and we desire, that Nancy told us that in the book, Science of Getting Rich, the universe replenishes itself. And it's so many people to go around for everybody that
Right.
bless you, sweetie, anything
Thank
that
you.
we want, the sky, somebody said, is the limit, but then I say there is no limit.
Right. I'm on day 5.
Absolutely.
I started it again.
You on day 5?
I started it again.
Started what again?
The Science of Getting Rich.
Oh, you did. Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. Yeah,
So,
Yeah, okay, okay. Absolutely. I mean, that's an awesome book to read, and it has a lot of truth in it.
yes.
And it's definitely rockets me, every time I read it, it just has a lot of meat in it,
Yes, it does.
and
Yes,
all
it
we have to
does.
do is believe it and walk in it. And I think I'm grateful. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you had me on today.
Well, thank you for saying
Um,
yes, and thank you for being here. And what I'm going to do is, as soon as we get off, I'm going to put the links so that everybody can find you. We're going to put the links to these great shirts as well,
yeah.
and that way, get your tickets because they will be going very quickly. And
Yes.
this is the journal. Let me just show you a copy of the journal very quickly. This is the journal. Pat is week 41. So if you want to hear and get some goodies from Pat, check
Yes.
out week 41. There
Yes.
are 52 weeks. It's an opportunity to write down your gratitude wins. It's an opportunity to take little action steps that are, heighten or enhance your level of gratitude, as well as little special goodies from each of the people who contributed. And Pat is one of them. She's week 41. So again, get your journal if you haven't gotten it, and I'll post the link to that as well. So I look
Now, the only
forward.
thing I
Tell
wanted
me.
to ask for
Yes.
those who are listening, as it relates to the journal, when you say the weeks that we all fell in, I just want to make it clear so they'll understand that they can buy that journal at any time.
Yes,
And they can
absolutely.
start at any point.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
sometimes people think, well, it's just a month, it's just for the year. Oh, the year's almost over. I mean, it's too late for me to get the journal.
There
No,
are
it's
no
never too late to get the
dates.
journal.
There are no
That's what I
dates.
wanted you to say.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
absolutely. There are no dates. I did it on purpose that way. So if you buy your journal in March, you start in March and you're fine. You buy it in May, there's no problem. And I did that specifically because I didn't want people to feel, oh no, I bought it in May. What am I going to do? No dates. Whenever you buy it is the perfect time to start. So,
And that's exactly what I wanted to hear. And
yeah.
I also want you to know that all of our vendors, our sponsored partners, they do get lunch with their ticket, and they do get a 60-second infomercial. So please, 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 those of you who will hear this recording, if you are a sponsor partner, please prepare your 60-second infomercial. We have 20 vendors, and we cannot give everybody 5 minutes.
All right, I gotcha. I'm not gonna talk. I gotcha. All right,
Ah,
my dear. Thank you so
okay, and
much
I
for
guess I
jumping
could.
on with me today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to posting this on my page and all over the world as I normally do.
All right. Well, let me at least first put the link in so that way we have it and everybody gets
Yeah.
to see all your stuff. So,
Okay.
all right. I will
All
talk to you
right.
soon. Thank you so much for saying yes and jumping on.
Okay, and thank you so much for having me, Miss Maya. Love you, girl.
Love you too.
Bye bye.
Bye.